Faithful, another long journey, 3 more years to go. We got one goal. We done fell short, but we on the way. Got a great team. I want to thank John Lynch, Cal, and everybody. Let's go, Faithful. Now we back to work, baby. Let's go.
Like you can't copy Deebo Samuel.
What's going on, 49 Faithful? And welcome to the Family Squad, man. We got a good show for you, man. Oh, so much to talk about. Of course, especially our boy Deebo Samuel signs the big contract, and we're going to get more into that here shortly. Soon, my co-host, Antonio, will be joining us, and we're going to get into Niner Talk. If you guys are watching, hey, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and hit us up in comments if you have anything you want to say or share about the San Francisco 49ers. I'm sure many of faithful last few days have been at the practice facility. And speaking of practice facility, well, you know what? Your boy Chili Will was there in the house on Tuesday. Let me tell you, I was very, very excited to see the boys out there practicing, getting it in, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was kind of like, wow, it's like right around the corner, the Niners get ready to do this, and the season's going to be starting here shortly. We got first preseason coming up on the 12th, which is, about 10 days away, and 9 days, actually, right? Anyway, but I can't be more excited than that right now. But, man, I tell you, excuse me. But let me tell you a little bit, so me and Niner Glow, we went down to the 49er facility, Tuesday, okay, and made our way down to Levi Stadium, jumped on the shuttle, went back down there to the field, dropped off, went walking in there and, walked through the gate, onto the practice field, and really, like I said, really awesome to see the boys back at it, man. I tell you, very excited. Faithful, I don't know about you, but man, and I'm sure you see the pictures on Twitter. A lot of people posting pictures on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and boys are just getting at it, man. And I was glad to be able to, the practice I went to, I was glad to see that they, had the pads on, because this last 3 days, today, yesterday, and Monday was up. They had their pads on. So there's going to be some contact, and there's going to be some trouble, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. But anyway, hey, it was live. Me and Gloria, we had a great time just being down there with the faithful. And, it was just great to see all the 49er faithful sitting up in the stands, watching the practice, just started getting the excitement, adrenaline in, just seeing everybody, and then most of all, just seeing the kids, the kids sit, some of the kids are kind of sitting right there on, like on the grass, turf area, watching the players play and warm up. And it's always exciting to see the young Niner faithful, getting to see all their players and stuff. And, and for me, that was joyful to see. That was very joyful to see. But man, yeah, a lot to talk about, man. I'm up here, was in practice, so check the boys out, and everybody's basically stretching, and they're doing their little assignment drills, mostly just loosening up. That's how they all start out, loosening up, getting their exercises in, stretching, So and then after, the horn blows, every 10 minutes, these guys, they shift and they go into other part of the field, and they get with their groups, whether it be, I guess, the linemen or defensive linemen, offensive linemen, linebacker unit, secondary unit. You get the group of wide receivers over there and running backs over there. And so everybody breaks up and they go into their own divisional groups. And probably they start running their little personal drills and stuff, and so they got the music blasting, so it always said, for not faithful, I think the Niners are the only team that does it gangster like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got the music playing in the background, booming, you know what I'm saying? And they're just, enjoying the hype and the music's getting everybody pumped up, and the guys are just doing their thing. So I was just going to real quick before we get too deep and started, talk about just a little is this some of the things that stuck out to me. I kind of kept notes on this because I wanted to make sure I didn't really forget much. But some of the players that I saw from where I was sitting, actually, once it got to the point where they were playing like 7-on-7 drills and stuff like that, some of the guys that sat down stuck. I guess at first during the warm-ups, okay, there was it was kind of cool to see Coach Kyle Shanahan. He was out there throwing the ball, not to official players, but they were some probably athletic coaches helping out, whatever. But they wore those special little red hats, and so Kyle's throwing the ball, and he's, they would catch him, and Kyle, he's a good little quarterback. I mean, this guy could throw pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I guess we have a backup, extra emergency backup, and Kyle Shanahan. I'm just joking, but he's throwing some good passes. But I guess the defense's job was just to gang up on whoever caught the ball was the swarm defense. They would work on just surrounding that individual, but there was no contact, of course. My man just checked in. Let me bring him on in. My wonderful co-host, all the way from Empire Road, the MC of MC for the 49ers, Mr. Antonio Velo, man. Antonio,
what's going on, Chili Will? Good to see you, brother.
It's great to see you, man. Great to see you. Glad you can make it once again, 49ers Street Squad, man. First of all, I was talking to everybody, just talking about, the little bit of the experience going to training camp on Tuesday, which I still will talk about. But what I have to cover important, that's really, really, really important, is a special happy birthday to you, my brother, because I know you are out in Vegas having a great time celebrating your birthday. It's Leo season, baby. You know what I'm saying? The Leo's in the house, So I wanted to say special happy birthday to you, and of course to the Leo pack, the Niner Leo pack right there.
There we go.
Antonio, right there. Happy birthday, and Niner Glow in the picture, and Raj in the picture. That's the Leo connection right there.
Man, that's a great picture. That is a really good picture right there. Send me that. Send me that. I got to send me that one. Yeah. That's Leo season right there. Happy birthday, Raj. Happy birthday, Niner Glow.
Levi. Yes, man. See, that's how we do it, y'all. That's how we do it. But yeah, man.
Thank you.
Did you have a great time in Vegas? Saw some of the pictures, man. I was like, look at my man walking around Vegas like he owns the city, looking like Gotti, man. Got his Scarface clothing on and everything. I like, go on, dog.
Yeah. The Scarface clothing. I got my Win Nightlife hat. It was
okay. Represent the win.
I had a good time. Vegas has been like a second home. I got a couple of great friends that moved out there, thinking about it. California, you know how expensive it is. But, it's so funny. As we get closer to the New Year's game against the Raiders, there's a collaboration in the works with the Raider Nation and the Niner Empire. We've done it before, and they're super excited out there. And so just creating those bonds and keeping them, shaking hands and kissing babies as we get closer and closer and closer to the season. They're excited about that game.
Now, what's amazing is that you use the word collaboration. And you mean to tell me that the Niners and Raider fans, we're going to collaborate together somewhere under the same roof? Well, that's a good idea.
So fun fact is we did it in the last game. The Raider Nation came and collaborated at Empire Row, and it was just a positive, fun event. There was no problems. My ties with the Raider Nation run pretty thick because a couple of my best friends are a part of it. And so when we bounce back and forth, through Battle of the Bay, it's always been an awesome set of memories. And through the years since, early Candlestick days. So to keep it going as we get older, it's actually makes it that much funner. And as a Niner fan, you kind of like, okay, how are they doing it compared to how we're doing it? And you start, seeing some of the characters in it. When I was in Vegas for the NFL draft, I got invited to the Raider Nation draft party. So I pulled up, all Ninered up. They were like, "What the hell are you doing here?"
Well, you were representing. That's all right.
Yeah, so it was fun. They invited me, and those are the type of things we got to keep going. I think as we go on the road, and other teams, let us have our moments as Niner Empire. We actually have a good time with every team that we collab with or bump into on the road. Maybe some of the Rams fans were acting up, but and maybe some Seattle fans act up, but right. The Battle of the Bay, they miss it. So my just to close the story, my slogan is Battle of the Bay, Mandalay Bay, because
Mandalay Bay. Oh,
they're not in the Bay.
That was going to happen at Mandalay Bay.
Mandalay Bay, man. That's looks like the little connection. Everybody walks from Mandalay Bay to the stadium. So. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's not even a full mile, I don't think. It's so there's some transportation, and we're trying to figure it out. And of course, when the when the front office figures out where they want to do the meet and greet, the way that they do the tailgates it's different. A lot of the tailgating is in the casinos. A lot of the tailgate, and then there is some tailgating in the ballpark as well. So or in the stadium as well. So. It's going to be interesting, but we gotta constantly look at that game because that one's going to be a big one. And New Year's is going to be a celebration. It's going to be New Year's Day.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's definitely that. So yeah, it's definitely going to be one hell of exciting weekend of a Niner Raider partying on top of New Year's Eve Day, and then have a big game like that. Which I'm sure down the line it could be a very meaningful game at that too for probably us or them, Right, so going to be very, very exciting. Well, that's good to know, man. I'm glad, I'm sure you'll keep us posted as the season comes along because, right now, we're just in the preseason of things.
Right,
and
right. We got a lot of time. We got a lot of time for that one.
we got a lot of time for that one. But you know what? It's still important to just kind of keep in back your mind because that's something like, hey, again, on the weekend, a big holiday weekend like that, if anything, you definitely, if you're going to fly, make sure you get them tickets like now while they're cheap, and you got to take advantage of a lot of those things. Or if you happen to have to stay at a hotel or make your arrangements with, I don't know, Airbnb or something, those are the things you got to look in only because that's New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. We know it's always party crazy up there New Year's Eve. So, got to be ready for it. So that's great. That's great, man. Well, like I said, man, great to have you back on the show, my brother, and so much to get into and talk about. Of course, the big news on Sunday, Deebo Samuel. Man, Deebo Samuel got paid his contract. It's a 3-year, $73.5 million. Dang. You know what I'm saying? So I give the guy with my, oh, man, if I can, let's give him the party horn right there. For Deebo, man. Happy for Deebo. Congratulations, Deebo. So glad you're back with the boys, red and gold, and now we can continue to focus on the prize at hand, and that's the Super Bowl, baby. That is the Super Bowl. Now, just to get a little into, far as his contract and all, I was kind of like reading, reading all the notes, that I was trying to put together, collaborate. So I'm like, okay, so it looks like he's going to be getting what, where we at? He's supposed to get 41 million guaranteed at the signing, right?
Yeah. I think it's 50 something, isn't it? 50 something.
Yeah.
I thought it was
58.1 guaranteed.
Yeah.
73 contract with a 58.1 guaranteed. You're right. So it said 51 million at signing, then 25 million in 2022. If we total that up, is about what? 5, 6, 4, 62. Well, that's almost 66 million. I'm looking at like all these different. It's funny, and I saw this one text by Matt Mayoko, and he had I don't know if it was an error on him, but he had it at 4 years, because he said 4 years through 2025, so 22, 23, 24, 25. That's
right,
3.
right.
I think he meant 3 years. He might have made a mistake in that text, but yeah, includes 24.35 million signing bonus with 41 million guaranteed at signing, and in April he'll get the 58. Should get 58 million. Well, 58.167 million will be fully guaranteed. The full deal averages, basically his full deal averages just under 18 million per year, so 3 years, something like that. So the boy's getting paid, and which is really awesome. And again, the wide back is back. You know what I'm saying? Deebo, as you know, has been just, he was a great surprise. I mean, not that he was a great surprise, but, he was definitely on another level last season, and really helped the team. Got our foot in the door in the playoffs, beating the Rams in overtime, and of course he even played big in there because he ran the ball, right, in that game, and then went on to play Dallas, right, and went to Dallas game, and we saw what he did there, had that one call, he told coach, hey, man, it's time to run that play, you know what I'm saying, and when man took that ball, broke right, cut back left and found his way in the end zone real quick and really put the game away for the 49ers over Dallas Cowboys. And that was just victorious. And then we can go back and even think about, the Green Bay
game.
Packers, the frozen tundra. Boy, was it freezing. You know what I'm saying? We know some faithful that were out there bearing with those temperatures, man. That's how faithful they are, man. Being in the frozen tundra at 2 degrees below zero. I don't know about you, but I couldn't handle that, Antonio.
Yeah, that was the one game I sat out and stayed home for. But I'll tell you one, that was the craziest game. I mean, can you believe the one game we sat out was that crazy? Mm-hmm. And I think that one displayed Deebo's heart the most of all the games to me. It just made me say, this kid, we need him. Yeah. I think when you look back at the roller coaster he had in the offseason for this contract, there was a little part of me upset on the way he was handling his social media, and I'm glad that he showed during this time where they were working this deal out that he can be a professional. Because I was a little concerned about that. Maybe if I was 20-something years old with 75 million, I don't know how many people I'd listen to. But he had to kind of quiet down because he almost sabotaged his own contract, because they were, you wonder, were they really looking to trade him? Were they really looking that he was unhappy, or was that just an act to, get more money? I don't know. And that one was interesting, but I was kind of upset as a fan, and a lot of fans were. Some fans even sent him some death threats. So, he calmed down. He showed professionalism in the end. He showed up to camp. He practiced on the sideline. Of course, you don't want to get hurt while you're while you're trying to figure out your contract. And then, bam, he signs that thing. They took care of him, and look at everything goes away. Everything's happy, and everybody's happy. And I think that this was a huge plus for us.
Yeah, and that's where I think you have to tip your hat off to the San Francisco 49er organization, when it comes to the business side of things, we're going to take care of our players, when the time is right, And like you said, Deebo definitely rubbed a few faithful the wrong way with what he was doing, like you said. And, and of course, just all the, I don't know, some of the rumors, I don't know whether it be true or not, there was a big thing about him saying somebody saying, hey, Deebo doesn't want to be used as a running back anymore, and felt like Kyle Shanahan was just wearing him down because they were using him as a running back. But that wasn't really the case because according to his contract, right, it says he gets $650,000 per year for each year he has 380-yard or more rushing yards. Now, why would they put that in the contract if he wasn't, acceptable about getting the ball, running the ball, and scoring? It says Deebo Samuel will also earn $150,000 if he scores 3 rushing touchdowns in any 1 year. So each season, if he gets at least 3 touchdowns, right, he's gonna get himself another little $150,000 bonus. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm him in his shoes, I'm trying to make that at least. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like some extra money in the pocket. You know what I mean? So I like the fact that they added some incentives, to his contract or I should say goals for him, to focus on for the season. And I think that's a good thing. And it just goes to show you too that we heard it over the offseason again with Deebo when he was a little discouraged, whatever. Wasn't too happy about being a wide back and all this business. But according to this interview, I like what Deebo had to say. I'm going to play it just real quick for us. So here we go.
This offseason was that you were upset with how you were going to be used. Can you whether that's correct or not?
That is false. There was a lot of things that came out that I want to speak on, but at the end of the day, I wasn't allowed to. So, you can turn on the tape, go back to the Cowboys game. It kind of shows what kind of player I am. And also, you can go turn on the Pro Bowl tape and like what I said about being a wide back, I don't mind, doing whatever it takes for this team to win.
So see, he had no problem. He says he had no problem to do what it takes for this team to win, right? So it still makes wasn't strategy on his side in the offseason still just to kind of stir the pot, or was he really cool with it?
My bad for interrupting, man. No, yeah, you're right. You're right. Key word is what was he allowed to say, and who's telling him what he's allowed to say. So I think that they tried to tame him, and that was his way. This is just me thinking, it's not facts, but he was like, no one's going to tame me. I'm going to speak on what I want to speak on. And I think that was his strategy to show the front office that he's not going to be tamed. He wants to get paid. But then they might have had a different conversation after that because he kind of super went down low after that, quiet, let everything calm down. And I think, I think that was the smart move. I never thought that he wasn't going to get paid. I know that, some of these things take a little bit of time, but he wanted it right away. I think the Niners also had to deal with Jimmy G being on the books still, and they had to deal with some, cap restraint before the draft. So when you factor in all those things and we still got Bosa next, so these are things that we have. Jimmy being on the roster probably delayed this process too. So I'm glad he signed. I'm glad we're going into the season. I'm glad that everybody is in a positive, forward mindset.
Yeah, exactly. And it just goes to show. That's why I don't like to allow myself to get too caught up in the off-season hype. You hear the stories and what everybody, you got Schaffner and all them guys always coming out with the breaking news on, Deebo's not happy, wants to trade teams, wants to leave he wants to get out of San Francisco. It's like, oh, come on. You know what I mean? It's like, now, I ain't going to believe it till I hear out of the horse's mouth personally. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to have some doubt, so I'm going to be like, well, of course, but sometimes you can't help but get caught up because everybody else is all of a sudden getting crazy and tweeting all over the place and, having shows about it everywhere, and something to talk about. So, but I'm the kind of guy just like, I want to wait till the dust settles, and I'll wait till I officially hear it. if Kyle came out there and said, yeah, we can't deal with Deebo no more. He doesn't want to be a wide back. And so I need a wide back. And I can't do it with this guy if he doesn't want to do it. If he came out and said something like that would be a story. I'd be like, okay, I guess it's true. But of course, as professional San Francisco organization is, they ain't going to come out like that. And they're always going to have 100% respect for all their players and treat it as first class business, and that's always great to see. Always great to see. So congratulations to our guy, Deebo Samuel, man. He's back. And again, I was at training camp, Antonio, on Tuesday. And yeah. And it was great to just see our boys, man, out there doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really excited to see the 49er faithful, all the young kids, just all excited, seeing their players out there, shout George Kittle, everybody, and just kind of gave me goosebumps, you know what I mean? I'm just like, this help added to the excitement, and some of the things, I just was going to say that, just some of the things I was observing while I was there, a lot of guys will look at some of the guys that I could see that were, because I was kind of at the far end of the practice field, so it was hard to really see what was going on way at the other side at times, but Trey Sermon. I want to bring up Trey Sermon just real quick because he caught my eye. This brother was man. I didn't even know it was him until I saw him catch a few nice passes, and he was running, doing his thing, and I was trying to look at the back of his jersey just to make sure who it was, and because he kind of got the long braids back there, so it was covering his name. It was hard to see, but I was like, man, Sermon. I said, oh man, that's Trey Sermon. I was like, wow, this brother's looking good out here, man. And let me tell you, Niners, man, faithful, be ready for some Trey Sermon, man. Because this guy was looking really good, man. He was looking really nice, really nice.
That's good to hear.
And I think he's definitely ready to make a run for that running back position on the 53-man roster for sure this year. So the competition, as we know, is going to be thick, and he's ready to make an impact. Another guy I thought looked pretty good, which happened to be at my end of the field that I was able to see well, was Sudfeld. Man, this brother could throw some dimes, man. I was like, wow. I mean, he was throwing some big passes and, great catches by, who was it? Danny Gray, my boy. Danny Gray made a few great catches.
I heard he had a better practice recently, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And damn, man, Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah. Talk of the camp, right?
Dude, man, I think he's ready to set it on fire this year. You know how Deebo had his third season and just kind of blew up? I think really Brandon Ayuk, man, I think it's going to be his season. What do you think about that?
I think he is the big X factor. And I think with the arm that Trey Lance has, I think that he's going to get some looks. I think that this offense is going to be open up more in the deep ball. And, if you put a lot of time on Kittle and Deebo, I think a lot of one-on-one is going to be with Ayuk, and I think he's going to show a lot this year. The defense has been in his ear too, so I'm loving it. I love the answer today. Fred Warner said, he's pressing buttons on him because he knows that he's gonna, he wants him to have a really good year. And, he's pressing some buttons. The defense is pressing buttons on the offense. I love it. And I love the locker room. Everybody thinks, oh, my gosh, they're fighting. This is competition. This is
hold on a second, because I'm glad you brought that up, man, because that was kind of going to be my next topic going into this. But I was watching the scrimmage, and, when they all came to the field front where everybody was at. And I'm watching the guys, but then next, you can tell something went down because they all just like hovered together. You know what I'm saying? I'm all trying to look. I'm like, man, what's going on over there? Look like a beef or something. You know what I mean? So I couldn't tell who was in the beef or anything because all you can see is this big burly guys, grouped together over there. But yeah, Fred Warner and Ayuk were getting into it. They were having a little beef with each other, like you said, and. And I was going to ask you, like, what did you think about that? So, I'm glad you kind of answered that question and stuff. But yeah, you're right. It looks like one of the, I was going to ask you, the question to you was going to be, did you think Fred had it out for Ayuk? Was it more on a personal level or something?
I can't say, but I will say is the answer that the defense gave was pretty clever, and Jimmy Ward in on it too, saying, "Hey, iron sharpens iron, right?" But here's I played football in elementary all through high school. I didn't try to go into some junior college stuff, but what I will say is coming in with in training camp with a chip on your shoulder. I mean, I always wanted to light a teammate up just for the coaches to see, and it would create a problem. But, this is a contact sport. And I think that you earn respect from your teammates when you do it. They say you're not supposed to, but sometimes it's good to light someone up on your team and, you have a problem with them and then, shake it off later and you become best friends. Right. And, it's an intimidating sport. If you can get into someone's head, if you can get the edge on somebody where they're looking over their shoulder, they don't want to get hit, you can get into the game in their mind. And so being a defensive back, being a defensive player, that's part of the game on the defensive side. Remember, the offense knows where the play is going, the defense doesn't. So if you can get into someone's head, that's an element of the game that you want to have on defense. So I get it. It's just with the team, you don't want no hard feelings. And there's scuffles every year. There was a scuffle when back in the day, Nolan drafts Vernon Davis, and it's in a video somewhere where Vernon is cussing out one of the defensive players, and Nolan had to get in there, and he cusses Nolan out too. And so, these guys are hyped up. There's guys trying to make the team. There's guys that have a chip on their shoulder. There's guys that are saying they're washed up. They have something. There's guys that have something to prove. And I think Ayuk has a huge year to improve. So if Fred Warner's response is, "Hey, I think that Ayuk is going to be a baller, but we just want to make sure he's ready. And this is why we're doing that," I like it. I mean, because if someone that loves you, which is a teammate, going to do it, you need to start preparing, because when it gets into these regular season games, these other players don't give a damn about who the 49ers are. So I think it's awesome. I think that it's great that they have a camaraderie, and I think that it's good that you're aggressive. You want your defense to be aggressive. Unfortunately, it's not for, it's not for TV. It's probably the HBO uncut. You don't want to hear what they say in them huddles. That's why they sound it off. It's not nice things. They're not talking about piano practice and Bible study. They're saying some mean stuff out there. And, then there's they open up the camp. They don't want the fans to see it too. So they got to be cool, but it's, you see it. Yeah. It's part of the game, man. I think it's awesome. I think that makes the camp even better.
Yeah, that's true. And I have to agree with you 100%. It's funny to hear one of the fans out there said, "Save it for the Green Bay game," Oh, man, I was laughing. I was like, oh, there you go. There you go. That's right, man. Save it for Green Bay Packers, man, when they come on the 12th. You know what I'm saying? Take some of that hostility out of them. That's the way to do it. But yeah, these guys are playing so well against each other. And like you said, iron sharpens iron is right, because, Trey Lance, now I think the last total I heard was about 11 interceptions defense have had. And, they've been saying how Trey Lance has, it's been tough for him, but look at the defense he's going against, which is going to probably be, if not top 3, number 1 defense, I think, in the NFL for this season. And so, he's learning under the pressure of the best, and also this defense is also learning against a really great offense. You know what I'm saying? Or, when you got Trent Williams and all these guys, Trey Lance, all these great running backs, you know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, it's making their game really stronger too. But man, a lot of praises out to Travarius Ward. Now he wasn't out there the day I went, but I think they said they gave him a rest day, but I heard he's been holding it really. This brother's been really holding it down, in the secondary, and he's helping the young guys, and help polishing them players, which is really great to hear. And that's, you'll always like to hear the veterans, passing down the knowledge to the rookies and stepping up, and that's what just helps make this team so much greater. And I think that's why, man, I tell you, I just feel we're just going to dominate, Antonio. I think we're going to just be dominating next year. I mean, I know people giving us like 9-10 games to win, man, but I really think it'll be 12 or 13, probably even more than that. But again, we'll see how Trey performs, and when he's really under the pressure, under the gun, we'll see if maybe it might seem easier to him because he's hey, I go against my tough defense every practice, so you guys ain't nothing like them, So we'll see. But I was gonna bring up also a training camp, of course. I gotta show you this picture. I want to real quick. Let me see if I can find it here. Where is it? I think. Okay, yeah. Here we go. You see this photo?
Yes.
Oh, you notice anything kind of funny about it?
Everybody's looking behind. What's back there?
Guess what's back? Guess who they're looking at? I'll give you one guess. I bet you'll get it.
Deebo?
Nope. It's Jimmy G.
Oh, Jimmy G. Was he running laps back there with the kids?
Jimmy was back there, way over there by the weight room area. There's the weight room building. He's kind of out front there. So all the fans were like checking him out, and it was like, he was back there. He was out there throwing some good passes. They had him. They were just kind of working with his throwing arm and everything. He looked pretty good, just from what footage I've seen of him, and was looking really good. And I just like. And I don't know, man. I was just thinking about this, and I was like saying to myself, "Wow!" Like, I first of all, I guess I kind of feel bad, because it's our boy Jimmy. You know what I mean? And it's almost like we, kicked him to the curb, like in the Sandlot or something. You know what I mean? It's like, man, you can't hang with us no more. You're on your own now. But he's kind of like hanging around, throwing the ball. Like, man, I wish I could play with the guys. I miss playing with the guys and so forth. But we know the situation. We know the situation with Jimmy, and it's, a little unfortunate. We know we're looking to get him traded, or maybe something going to happen.
I'll tell you what. Jimmy's my guy. I got love for Jimmy. He can make you mad every now and then, but man, he's a winner. And if you look at his character and the way he's shaking it off, the man doesn't show that he's upset. He's a professional. And I'll tell you what, that puts to me more pressure on Trey Lance to have a great season because, rookies have some growing pains. You talk about the interceptions. I was in Vegas looking at the odds to bet on the Niners, and it's 9 games. So if you bet that they win 10, that's the odds. Vegas doesn't think we're going to win more than 9.
Oh man, I should have gave you some money.
Yeah, so I was about to place the bet, but I ended up getting some sunglasses instead. But no, I was out there and I was looking at these odds, and you see Jimmy on the sideline. He doesn't want to get fined, so he's just doing it. And you got to remember, man. Let's say me and you we're taking a day off work and we're not happy at the job, but you got to go in if you want this few million. You're going to be in. Your feelings are now no longer don't even matter because he's going to get a big contract somewhere. It's just a matter of where. And I think the thing that the Niners did that was not good was how they handled the Jimmy G injury. They were not honest in the beginning during the playoffs, right? They didn't say what was really going on. They kept it super secret. And I think that prolonged teams from wanting to mess with him because they felt that they couldn't trust what the true injury was. After the surgery in the shoulder, that's a big injury. You got a shoulder surgery in the throwing arm. You can't really diagnose if it's a good if he's recovered or not until he's able to throw. And then leading into that, it was Niners wanted a second rounder. They could have got him off for something less, but they wanted nothing but a second rounder. I think there was a third on the table somewhere. And I don't know if they wanted to take that. Rumors say there was a third and fourth pick. They didn't want our third and fourth round pick. They didn't want that. So you look at what you think you were going to get for him and what came off the board in free agency for quarterbacks, and you're like, wow, Jimmy's still on the board. So there's going to be a team that's going to get him. And you wonder if it's the Jets. You wonder if it's Saleh. You wonder if it's Seattle. I mean, who's gonna be interested in him? And it's cutting into the season, man.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Do you think it's possible to still have Jimmy still stay on the team come the season?
I think it is. I think that would be considered disastrous to the front office if that is the case, right? But I think that the reason why they're putting him behind the bleachers, it bothers me. It's because they don't want the pressure on Trey Lance. But here's who. Let me say this. Let's say Trey goes down. Who's coming in? Season is over.
And you know what?
Season is over.
Dude, that's just why I was thinking, I was having, after that Tuesday, I, came home thinking about all this, and I kind of was like, I just had this weird kind of like feeling come over me. And usually when that happens, it's not good. But I was like you said, what if something goes sideways with Trey Lance? I mean, I hope the brother come out, do his thing and be successful. We all want to see that. As what everybody wants, right? But let's just say something crazy just happens to happen.
Right.
Who's to say that just maybe, Jimmy's still around. He comes back. And next thing you know, all of a sudden, this brother just has the season of his life. Takes us to the Super Bowl. We win our 6th chip because of Jimmy, man. I mean,
that's a Kurt Warner story right there, man. That's the
just think. Man, Tony, I'm telling you, man, I was thinking about this so much. I don't know why. It was like the weirdest thing. I'm going, why? What if something happened? Like, if Trey gets hurt in some kind of weird way or something happens and he can't make the rest of the games, Jimmy's still here or somewhere, but he's somehow connected with us still, so they get Jimmy back in action, get him out there, and, maybe he takes this team right back to the playoffs and maybe the Super Bowl again and wins it all. Like, I just can see that perfect story. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if it was to happen and, him come back and help take the Niners, to the Super Bowl and win that. I mean, can you just imagine that story if it was to happen? You know what I'm saying? I mean, anything's possible. I'm not trying to say it is or whatever, but it was just a weird feeling I got thinking about that when I saw him. He's back there just all by himself. Kind of just that Niner, like everybody on this side is like, yeah, we're ready for Trey Lance. Yeah, we're ready to Trey Lance. And here's Jimmy just kind of, yeah, well, my arm's feeling good now, and I'm throwing some good passes. I think I could get another chance at this. You know what I mean? And take these guys back to the playoffs. So yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. That's why it was funny, when you started getting into it, I was like, oh, I gotta ask him that question now.
First preseason game is next Friday.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna probably still be on the team by then. I'm assuming that teams are gonna analyze their quarterback situation during the preseason and maybe. But the question is, will he be on the team week 1?
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, then we gotta look at like, okay, should we keep him at this point? Should we keep him? The problem with that, the reason why they don't want to keep him is because his contract is officially up. They won't get anything for him. They'll just have to release him after the season. And the Niners are trying to get something in return. And I think they got a little greedy. And they could have got something. It wouldn't have been pretty. It would have been like 4th, 5th, 3rd. But they want a second. That's what I'm hearing. They want a second. I don't know if he's worth a second still. And now that the draft is over with, I mean, you're not going to be able to get a second till next year. So they're going to try to get something to load up into next year. But to be honest with you, man, I got love for Jimmy G. I wish him nothing but the best. It puts 10 times more pressure on Trey Lance. And let's go back to the 2 years Jimmy G got injured early in the season and how we watched our second and third string quarterbacks. Shanahan wasn't on the phone getting a guy off the street. They weren't looking at nothing. So this is what we have. I'm assuming if Lance goes down, they are not going to do anything to look for a backup quarterback. And that's the question. You got this new salary cap. You got these rosters that come out, and they don't want the quarterback position to be injured. A lot of these teams want their quarterback to start every game. And that's why the rules are soft on quarterbacks and hits. But Jimmy's not able to scramble as well as Trey. And I don't know how good our offensive line is going to be. And by the time they gel, maybe it's week 3. I'm hoping this offensive line in the interior of it plays well. But that scares me with a Jimmy G if he were to start. So I am happy with Trey Lance due to him being able to be mobile, because we might need a guy that can get out of this situation. And I don't know, like I said, it might take some time for our offensive line to warm up. But I'm assuming that on paper, our offensive line is probably one of the things that scare me a little bit.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely a work in progress. Who's gonna be out there starting, and we'll. I guess when we do get next Friday, get the chance to see the first game against Green Bay, we'll see how it's going to look, because there's been some good reports, but I've heard that Spencer Buford, he's been getting some pretty good high stars on his performance out there. Brunskill looking good. I heard Poe's looking really good, and I can't think of the other guy that would play next to Trent Williams, the rookie they got, Banks. I want to say, is it Banks?
Yeah, there's a couple of rookies. I'm hoping those guys come out to play, and then I hope the offensive line stays fairly healthy during the season. Those guys get banged up, and I try. My problem with this is I tend to look ahead, and we gotta go into one game at a time. When we dove into last season, we had some injuries right off week 1 that were season enders, and it took us a while to ramp up to work around to see what we have in the roster. Trey Sermon, I'm excited for him. We're going to definitely need him. I don't know if Shanahan wants to run Deebo to the ground early in the season. I think you've got some running backs now that you don't need to really put him in those positions, because I want Deebo to be fresh and healthy when it counts. And I think that was a big thing too with his contract. I'm glad that they have the incentives written in that. But I do know that we got two other running backs that are on the roster. We have another rookie that can run hard downhill runner. So these guys are going to be key to see in the preseason. I'm going to be paying attention to our running backs, I think, early in the preseason.
Yeah, definitely deep there. And like you said, good talent, with the pickup of, Taylor Price. I saw him out there on the field. That's a big brother, man. He's a big boy. You know who else is really big, which I didn't realize till I saw him rather close to me, was Wilson Jr., man.
Yeah, Wilson's a big dude.
That guy that's a tall, stacked brother right there. I'm
glad he's back. He can carry the team. He's not a flashy guy, but he can take you 2-3 games if you need him. And that is an exciting guy to have on top of our rookie that we drafted, on top of the guys coming back from last year. I think Elijah Mitchell's going to be our main guy. But he how many games did he miss? 4 games, 5 games? He was banged up. He needs to get his frame up a little bit. Guys coming out of college are not used to the grind, especially if you go into the playoffs. It's extra games that they're normally not used to playing. And the transition and the training that it takes at the running back position to prepare for that, it doesn't necessarily happen in the rookie year. So it's going to be his second year. I'm excited to see what he does. I think he's a baller. And I think there's a lot of weapons. I think you got if Ayuk is balling, that means that Kittle's going to have a big year. Kittle had to stay back and block in a lot of those early games. He didn't start off like he didn't have the beginning of the season starting off well, because they had some blocking problems at the tackle position, and he had to stay back and block. So there is a lot of good things I'm waiting to see.
Yeah, it's funny you bring up Kittle, because I remember I'm sitting at practice, and I saw 85, Mr. George Kittle out there, and I'm looking at him, but from afar a little bit. So, it wasn't rather close to me. So I'm kind of looking at him going, man, is that George Kittle? Because from what I could see and what, not that I got the best eyes from far distance, but, I'm looking at him, I'm going, why does he look kind of scrawny looking, like he lost weight? And I couldn't tell, and I'm trying to think like maybe somebody else had the number 85, and could have been someone else, but I kind of noticed that too a couple of times when I spotted him out there on the field. I'm looking at this brother, I'm going, man, did he lose weight or something? And I'm going, no, it can't be. You know what I mean? So I, not I don't really want to say anything official about it because, it wasn't like I said, if he was maybe more closer to me, I probably would have had a better look at him. I would think like, okay, my man, he still looks, same old big Kittle, big raw looking, but he was looking kind of like, I don't know, he looked like kind of scrawny to me out there. It looked like lost weight or something. I was kind of tripping on that, so hopefully it was somebody else, I want to think. But apparently, though, there was a George Kittle sighting in Dallas, man. I don't want to play this for you.
Yes, sir.
Beast.
Man, that's my favorite boy showing up in the George Kittle jersey at a Dallas practice, man, representing, man. I love it. I'm just glad. I'm glad. Hopefully they get beat down or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I guess they practice. They must practice out here in California somewhere. I think in Oxnard or something like that. But it was funny. Like I know that one of our training camps, there was apparently somebody with a Patrick Mahomes jersey that was sitting at the this practice, and Salvador Sam pointed him out, was like, dude, look at this fool, get him out of here. So that was funny, man. That was funny. But expecting big things from Kittle, and hopefully, like you said, he can stay healthy this year. Because as a matter of fact, speaking of tight ends, we actually have a injury to our guy Jordan Matthews. He had hurt his ACL on Monday, and he's going on IR. And supposedly happened on just a route play, was non-contact, and that was happened on Monday's practice session. So looks like we're going to lose him for the year. And there was some good, reports about him. He was looking good in camp. Everybody said, he looked a little more buffed up, and he was kind of making a little run for that tight end position. So doesn't look like now that is going to happen. So that's a second man down that we'll probably lose for the year. We lost Maurice Hurst, defensive lineman. He had the bicep tear. I think last week, but the Niners did go out and they signed the 1-year deal with defensive lineman Akeem Spence.
Yeah.
To take over, I guess, his spot. So, we'll see how that works out, but the training camp, man, was really fun. And like I said, it was great to see the faithful and,
you just hate those injuries. You got guys pressing a little bit. They're on the lower part of the roster, so they're going to press it. And then they get the injury, and injuries like that, you're done for the season, right? And so another guy has to step up. I fear, I just want to get through with all our starters healthy, and get to week 1 and play healthy, man. Guys gotta be ready. Mm-hmm. And, injuries are part of the sport, but certain injuries can also change the entire dynamic of your team. So you want to make sure guys are healthy.
Exactly. And I, plus who was the other guy that, well, we didn't lose him. We just had some little, I think, knee sprain, defensive lineman.
We had another banged up guy. Armstead, right? Yeah. That's right. Armstead was banged up. I was off the grid for a couple of days, and I was getting all these updates. And I'm in Vegas. I was like trying to see like what's going on. Oh man!
Right.
And so I'm glad he's okay. We need him.
Yeah, he'll be back. They said, and he said it's really nothing. Take a few weeks off, so that's good news. So right now about 2 main guys down. Unfortunately, but thank God nobody. I don't want to say not important, but players that weren't probably in our starting lineup anyway. So and we're still very deep at both of them positions. So I think so far we'll be okay as long as we don't lose nobody else along the way and stuff. So, with that said, let's hope everybody else stays healthy. And like you said, gets through these next practices, good to the beginning of the season. The Knights have been resting a lot of these players and just getting them, like Bosa, I think he was off today. They had a few other players off the other day, Javarius Ward and I think Trent Williams was off. Of course, some of our main stars. We got to take care of our boys. And
right. Rest them up.
Because around the league, man, if you've been watching NFL Network, I mean, there's a lot of teams that have had some pretty severe injuries to their players, man. So there's other people losing, to ACL injuries and other crazy stuff, and there's a lot of key players, for their team. So, we got to keep counting our blessings, and let's just we just ask God to watch over our boys.
Yeah, these injuries to the knee on route running, it's the grass, it's the cleats, it's guys putting on weight that their knees can't handle. It's a lot of different things, man. And once you blow the knee out, that's it for the season. It pretty much sucks, man.
Yeah.
But that's a big injury that happens in the NFL.
Exactly. And so we, let's just pray and hope that our guys will be able to take good care of themselves, and let's not hopefully lose anybody too big that that we need to replace. And like I said, lucky we're really deep in a lot of areas in our in the positions on our team, because of the one thing that the Niners did do in this offseason, they drafted they went and got some free agents to help protect, fill some of the holes that we had, and even make certain positions, really deep, like defensive linemen, really deep, running backs, real deep, cornerbacks now. I mean, you've got Jason Verrett. I saw a tape of him running, and he's looking pretty good, so I imagine he should be hopefully ready to go by the beginning of the season. And if he's not going to be a starting corner, he could be perhaps a nickel corner, I think, in the nickel defense or something, but take over Williams' spot, because we lost Williams last year. So maybe he could do that,
I think it's good having him in the works of our DBs. I think it doesn't hurt to have Verrett come back and ease him back in, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no rush, to get him there, because we have a whole slew of guys, man. So Thomas and Diamador Lenore, to various more. I heard he's having a good camp too. This brother's coming back strong, which is really good. And so we're looking deep, man. So far, so good. Looking deep at a lot of those positions, man. And like I said, who knows, man? I think Jimmy could make that little. If he doesn't end up going, and if he still stays, he could possibly be like the second backup, or if they decide to keep him, because he's still under contract technically.
I'll tell you what.
As long as he wants to be here, I don't know. It's gonna be a sensitive thing, but I would be surprised.
I don't know if this coaching staff is built for that distraction. It ain't Bill Walsh, it ain't George Seifert there, where there was quarterback. Hey, man, you ain't playing well the first half.
Tanner Young going at it for years, right? I mean,
you ain't playing well the first half. We got a guy that's coming in the second half. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't think this staff has that heart like that, And I'm kind of old school into that mentality, like play your best guy, play the guy who has the hot hand. And I don't know, I don't know, because they tried it in the beginning last year with Jimmy G, and then all of a sudden you notice Trey Lance stops running the ball on the goal line. Mm-hmm. So, he scored a couple of touchdowns, as backup guy, and they tried to put him in trick play stuff. But I don't see Jimmy G. I see him being a bigger distraction. Jimmy G is he's a chick magnet. Do you think that the news can dodge him?
Porn star Jimmy.
Yeah. Right. You got more people looking at the cheerleaders in Jimmy than you do at Trey Lance.
Oh man. Well, hey, the saga, the drama soap opera continues, man. We're gonna see what's gonna happen, and I think it's a matter of sitting back and see how this thing evolves. So coming in next week, next Wednesday, we'll get together again, and we'll get ready to maybe talk a little bit about what our boys expect against Green Bay. Again, it's just preseason game, and we're gonna finally get to see the talent of some of our new guys, out there doing their thing. I know the matter of fact, Thursday is going to be Raiders and Jaguars for the Ohio, what do they call it, the Hall of Fame game.
Hall of Fame.
There you go. Yeah. The Hall of Fame game, that's going to be on Thursday. So things are starting to brew and cook up a little bit, and we'll really get our first taste of some NFL action. But of course, next Friday will be the real excitement, you know what I'm saying? And seeing our Niners and Green Bay go at it. So, we'll get more into that next Wednesday. Before we go, Antonio, I wanted you to just really touch on, of course, every show will kind of go over this just so people will know. But we got the Chicago invasion happening and stuff. And if you could just kind of touch on that real quick. And let 49 faithful know what kind of plans are happening or scheduled for that weekend.
The itinerary is out. I'll be posting some of this information on the Niner Empire organization page. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, September 9th, 10th, and 11th event. Friday and Saturday Giants are in town versus the Cubs, so we're going to go check out the games there. There's an after party on Friday. It's going to be at Margaritaville on the pier, and then after that, Gracie's, the after party event. That's Friday, and then Saturday it'll be the game, and then at about 4:00 we'll all head over to Sluggers right across the street. Jose Santana live. I got my boy DJ J-Mo in the mix. He's going to be there. A lot of special guests are going to be coming up, so that'll be fun Saturday, and then Sunday is going to be the home game. We're going to be tailgating in the Wardroom lot. It's the
parking lot next to the stadium.
Yeah, the parking lot next to the stadium, same spot as last time, and that'll be fun. We're going to hopefully get some music out there and get that thing going. So this is a fun week one. It's going to be Trey Lance versus the quarterback they got over there. Fields, and I'm excited. To put this together in week one was wild. We had to jump on it a little early, so finally getting the details up and excited about that one.
Nice. There you go, 49er faithful. So if you're getting your tickets to going to Chicago, man, we go like always, man. We're gonna set that town on fire. 49er faithful style, the way we do it. Red and gold in the house. The Empire's in the house, and man, it's time to take over that city again, man. But before we go, I want to just go ahead and pay a little respect to a wonderful radio commentator, announcer that's been in the game for years, that passed away at 94, Vince Scully, man. Maybe some of you faithful, old school faithful will know that this was the man that actually called the game, the NFC Championship game against the 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm going to just play that real quick in honor of our boy Vince Scully, man. Here we go.
6-yard line. Tom Landry is 6 yards away from his 6th Super Bowl. And of course, for the upstart 49ers, they're 6 yards away from Pontiac. 3rd and 3.
We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly.
Montana looking, throwing in the end zone. Caught it! Dwight Clark! It's a madhouse at Candlestick with 51 seconds left. Dwight Clark is 6'4". He stands about 10 feet tall in this crowd's estimation.
Man, awesome stuff, man. I tell you, that almost brings tears to my eyes, dude. My man Clark, who we just lost like a couple of years ago. Oh man, that's what started it all for the San Francisco 49ers dynasty, man. Of course, they went on to win the Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl for the Bay Area, San Francisco, man. And man, Vince Scully was the man that called that game. So, man, condolences to this man and his family and the great years of announcing that he's been involved in. Of course, he was the announcer for the Los Angeles Dodgers, for many years, and man, this guy was just an awesome commentator, man, and so much love to Vince, man. So with that said, hey, Antonio, once again, thank you so much, my brother, for taking time to family and loved ones, be on the 49ers Street Squad and talk some Niners, man. It's always a joy and a pleasure to have you on the show. And look forward till next Wednesday, right? Next Wednesday, and we'll get into it some more and more updates and news and anything else we could talk about hopefully we get some, Niner faithful might tune in. I know I started this new time at 6:00.
Yeah.
So I know it's a little, some people, especially here on the Pacific time, everyone's just kind of getting home from work and, so forth. So it might take a little time and use to, jumping on, but hopefully, we'll get more people to watch and tune in and, hopefully chime in on comments. And I like to even have set up a phone. I'm going to try to set up a phone line so we have people call in, especially when the season starts, and if anybody has anything to say and they want to say about the game, love to take some calls, or even, I'll put my email out there, if, anybody wants to be on the show, you can always jump on the email, 49streetsquad@gmail.com, hit me up, be like, hey man, yeah, I'd like to be on the show, talk Niners for a little bit, I'd love to have you, the more the merrier, the more fun it is and stuff. We miss our guys, Jonathan, David, and Justin, they were tied up a little busy today, but hopefully they can make it back on the show soon. But much love to them. And again, faithful, love you, man. And, look forward to next week. So, Antonio, thank you so much, my brother.
You're welcome, bro. Thank you for having me.
Tell the family I said hi, much love.
Tell Niner Glow happy birthday, happy belated.
Yes, definitely. And 49er faithful, we'll see you next week again, 6 p.m. Make sure you're here if you can. Let's talk some Niners, okay? Much love. Peace out.